Hello patron and welcome back to my life. Writer Wednesday, where I talk about the art and business of writing and how I do what I do as an indie author. Today's another follow-up from my video 2 weeks ago where I talked about how to get an email list off the ground, and I briefly mentioned Facebook advertising. So now we're going to go into Facebook ads and a few things that you need to watch out for as you're using Facebook advertising to build your list. As I mentioned in the original video, I highly recommend that you check out Mark Dawson's free videos on Facebook advertising. They're a very good starting point, and if you're a little bit more established in your author career, you should probably take his paid course. It's probably going to make your money back, definitely. Definitely. So the tips I'm going to give you are going to be more useful to you if you're like basically familiar with Facebook ads and how to create them and how to target them. These are tips for like the beginner to the intermediate Facebook advertising. Okay, the first thing that you want to be really careful about with Facebook ads is managing your resources, both time and money. Facebook ad spend can get out of control very, very quickly. You are able to control how much you spend on each ad campaign, but you have to spend a minimum of $5 per day per campaign, and that can add up really quick. And in order to get really effective ads, you have to try multiple campaigns targeted at multiple audiences to see what's going to work for you. And the time you have to invest to find those workable ads is considerable. Facebook ads is most of my wife Megan's job right now. Before, when I was writing and doing all of my own advertising, as well as the advertising for some other people, it almost drove me crazy. Once you get some ads working, the workload decreases slightly, but you still have to check in on your ads every single day to make sure that things aren't going off the rails, because when they do go off the rails, it happens very quickly. So you are looking at a very large time and money investment up front, and then a slightly decreased workload as time goes on until you decide to create new ad campaigns. So whenever you're planning to do your Facebook advertising, plan for that tremendous front load of work you're going to have to do. The second thing to watch out for is people signing up for your email list when you don't really want them. You don't want free seekers, you don't want people who don't read, and yes, a shocking amount of those people will sign up for an author's email list for some reason. There are way more qualifiers for people you don't want than for people you do want, and without very exact targeting, you will get a lot of the wrong people. You can ensure that you only get the right people on your email list with the ads themselves, the people you target those ads to, and your autoresponder. The ad should be reflective of your book and your genre, and it should be very clear that your ads are about books so that you don't get non-readers interested in them. The way that my ads are designed, about 60% of the people who sign up are people that I want to be there, and my autoresponder is responsible for getting rid of that remaining 40%. Targeting, also very important. My ads are targeted towards fantasy lovers, obviously, but I discovered that if you target the wrong type of fantasy lover, your results are very, very bad. For example, all of my ads in the beginning towards Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones did horribly, which is weird because those are the biggest fantasy series of all time. But eventually I realized that those ads were being shown to a metric crap ton of people who only like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones as film and television properties respectively, and not as books. The people who were seeing my ads and who were attracted to them were not readers. So I would say, as a general rule, you should not target your ads towards any property that has been successfully adapted into a wildly popular film or TV adaptation, because a lot of people who like that sort of thing aren't readers at all. And finally, the autoresponder. Make sure that it is designed to get people to very quickly unsubscribe if they are free seekers or just generally not the sort of person you want. In last week's Writer Wednesday video, I told you a little bit about how I do that with my autoresponder, challenging the person to be an actual reader and not just some wannabe who just accumulates free books on their Kindle but never actually reads them. You have to figure out how to do that for yourself. Just make sure that you approach it with the mindset that you want to scrub people from your list if they're not the sort of person who should be there. You do not want to just accumulate random people. You want good people. The third thing to watch out for, or just to keep in mind with Facebook ads, is getting a return on your investment. Now, tracking your ROI can be a little bit difficult, but you want to figure out a way to get as accurate a picture as you possibly can. First of all, you should definitely become an Amazon affiliate, and also a Kobo affiliate if you're selling on Kobo, which I'm not. I don't think you can become an affiliate for the other bookstores like Nook or iBooks or anything like that. If you can, do it, because you can use affiliate links to track how effective your ads are, and not just through books that you sell directly through Facebook ads. For example, I have one affiliate ID that I use when I'm trying to directly sell books. In other words, a Facebook ad that says buy this book on Amazon. But I have another affiliate ID that I use for all of the buy links that I put in my email autoresponder, and I don't see a whole lot of people doing that. I feel like when people are running Facebook ads in order to sign people up for their email list, they're not even thinking about making that money back, except in some long-term abstract way, like I will eventually make that money back because I will have more people on my email list. That's not invalid, I guess, but when people sign up for my email list through Facebook ads, they then get my autoresponder with buy links in all of those emails, and so I can actually track how many books the people who sign up for my list are buying. And that also lets me see which emails are more effective. Like, they go in sequence, right? So if one email is just not selling many copies of a book, I can tweak that email and figure out what's wrong with it and why it's losing attention or not making the book as appealing as all of the ones that came before. Now, all of this being said, you should not necessarily expect to make 100% of your money back on Facebook ads. In fact, the whole concept of earning back the money that you spend in marketing is not really a consideration that most big companies or big publishers have, except in, again, a very abstract way. You should realize that you will most likely bleed some expense in your marketing, and you should accept that as a business expense, as the cost of getting more exposure and getting your name out there. For example, I currently make back about 85% of the money that I spend on Facebook ads, which means that I'm bleeding about 15% of the money that I spend on ads each month. And I'm totally fine doing that because I'm confident that I'm making that extra 15% back in extra sales that I'm making through Amazon's ranking system and being better placed in the algorithm, and maybe untracked sales from people who don't buy through my affiliate links, as well as just general exposure and word of mouth. So that's all a bunch of stuff that you should be thinking with as you begin your journey with Facebook advertising, and I hope you find it helpful. Thank you so much again to Kristen, who asked the questions that have given us the last 3 weeks of Writer Wednesday videos. Next week, I will be answering Felix's question about how to commission great cover art for your books. No, I will not be reading you a 99 Designs ad. As always, please let me know what you want to know about writing and publishing. I am here to help you with anything that you might be struggling with, so drop a comment on YouTube or Patreon and I will give you my best advice. Also, I would like to toss a little request at you. If you've been getting value out of the Writer Wednesday videos in the 5 weeks since we relaunched the series, would you let somebody else know about them? More patrons means more questions and more advice about how to write and sell your books better. I really would like for this to be a cool, vibrant little micro community of writers in the indie publishing space, and you are the ones who can help make that happen. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you as always for your incredible support, and I will see you next Wednesday. Bye!